For many years, I found myself completely lost in thought, physically present, but mentally absent. My mind was always somewhere else. It was busy, racing through to-do lists, replaying past conversations, and imagining all the worst-case scenarios. I was everywhere else but here, and this caused so much unnecessary stress and anxiety. Learning to be fully present in my life has created space for peace to emerge, because the present is where peace is found. What good does it do to stress about something that already happened? The past cannot be changed. And how does worrying about something in the future benefit me? Planning for the future is great, but worrying is something completely different and not very helpful. The future is uncertain, and by worrying, I'm only giving away my precious time and energy to something that may not even happen. When you're present, you discover a profound sense of calm because you free yourself from thinking. You are fully immersed in the moment. You start noticing all the little things you didn't notice before. You savor each moment and experience everything as if it were the very first time. You appreciate the beauty that surrounds you, and you feel a deep connection with life because you are truly living it. Our thoughts influence our emotions and shape our reality. That's why learning to cultivate a positive mindset is so important, because negative thinking can disrupt our inner peace. And of course, it's easy to see the bright side when things are going well. But what about when they're not? The journey of life may not always be smooth. Sometimes the road gets rough, but beauty and joy can be found no matter what the path might look like. And sometimes it does require extra effort to find it. But ask yourself, what can I appreciate here? What positive qualities does this person, place, or situation have? It's natural for our minds to gravitate towards the negative, but training yourself to see the beauty and the goodness in everything can shift your perspective and magically change your reality. Take a look at your environment. How does it make you feel? Does it reflect peace and tranquility, or chaos and overwhelm? Our inner and outer worlds are deeply interconnected. They're essentially a mirror of one another. A cluttered space can often reflect a cluttered mind, while a clean and organized environment can help our minds feel more at ease. So if we want to cultivate peace within, a simple place to start is by creating a peaceful environment. Decluttering, organizing, and infusing your space with calming elements can transform it into a sanctuary where you can relax and retreat from the world. I feel the most calm when I'm in nature, so I like to bring nature indoors by decorating with plants, allowing the natural light to come in, and having more earthy colors. Sound also influences the way we feel, so I really enjoy playing peaceful piano music or nature sounds in the background to create a calming atmosphere. Small little things like this can make such an impact in our mood, and by being intentional with what we choose to surround ourselves with, we can support our overall well-being. As an introvert, spending time alone is so important to me. While I enjoy social interactions, I also know that in order for me to feel my best, I need time alone to recharge and feel centered. And I know sometimes we wait until we've reached a state of complete burnout before we realize we actually needed a break a long time ago. So to help with this, I try my best to be mindful of my energy levels and retreat when necessary. I like to think of it like the fuel tank of a car. You don't want it to reach empty while you're in the middle of the road. It's much better to stay mindful of how much gas you have and refill it ahead of time. So don't wait until you reach a breaking point. Prioritize self-care now. I didn't have the privilege of knowing my grandmother personally, but I've heard so many stories about her that it almost feels like I did. She was a hardworking woman who got up early to work at a mill. She tended to her home with care, and according to my aunts and uncles, she cooked the most delicious meals. And when it was all said and done, she'd go back to her room for her daily ritual, watching the news. And even though she loved it, they say there was always a noticeable shift in her mood. She'd leave her room feeling sad, overwhelmed, and consumed by worries. But despite this, she would go back and watch it again the next day. Staying informed about what's going on in the world is important, but I think there are ways to do this without compromising our mental health. Whether we realize it or not, the information we consume can affect our inner state. And in an age of information overload, it's so crucial to be mindful of what we absorb. So take some time to reflect. What shows do you watch? What books do you read? What conversations do you engage in? What are you allowing into your inner world? Is it adding value to your life, or is it taking away your peace? I think it's helpful to remember that we always have a choice, and by being more selective, we can stay informed and entertained without sacrificing our well-being. Nature is one of the greatest teachers. We can gain so much valuable wisdom by simply observing it. The sun never stops shining. It always brings light into this world, even on the cloudiest days. The ocean flows effortlessly. The waves come and go without resistance, a constant reminder that change is inevitable and life is always in motion. And we are very much like nature. Peace and harmony is our natural state. The only difference between us and the ocean, between us and a tree, is that we have a mind that likes to interpret, judge, and make sense of everything. It likes to label situations as good or bad, prepare for worst-case scenarios, and think of all the ways it can change the past. And before we know it, we get caught up in this mental chatter that often leaves us feeling stressed and worried about things that are completely out of our control. But when we learn to turn down the volume, quiet our minds, and find that stillness within, we realize that everything simply is, and it's perfect as it is. True peace lies in accepting the present moment, regardless of what this moment contains. This doesn't mean everything will be rainbows and butterflies. There will definitely be moments of pain and sadness, of anger and frustration, but the difference lies in how we work through these situations. We can choose to resist and suffer through these moments, or we can accept them and navigate them from a state of peace. If you're looking for more ways to cultivate peace and mindfulness, I'll have a playlist linked on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.